Welcome to another episode of Birdgang Nation Sports Talk. I am your host, Birdgang 31. And today we have another special guest from the mighty Erock channel on YouTube, Mr. Erock himself. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Man, no worries, no worries. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us from the Birdgang Nation. You know what I'm saying? We always trying to support the birds the best way we can.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get straight to it. How do you feel about the birds this year?
Well, I get asked that a lot. I get asked about the record a lot. How do you think they're going to do? How do you think it's going to turn out? And the fact of the matter is, like, straight up, I don't know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I have to look back and kind of reminisce on the 2016 season. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When Carson Wentz was a rookie, and you got to treat Jalen Hurts kind of like a rookie, because even though he played those games at the end of the season last year, didn't have a normal offseason. You know what I mean? Didn't have normal OTAs. Didn't have preseason. So you kind of, although he has some game time underneath his belt, you got to treat him like a rookie. Much like Carson Wentz was entering the league. And then you have Doug Peterson, Nick Sirianni. Doug never called plays, was an offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. And Sirianni was never called plays, but an offensive coordinator under Frank Reich. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know how the Eagles are going to do, but I'm optimistic that when they hit the field that we're going to see those same kind of flashes that we saw from Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. And listen, they didn't have a winning record their first year either. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not about the record. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's not about winning the division. It's more or less saying, okay, we know this team's not going to the Super Bowl next year. But Nick and Doug and Carson took 1 year and then won a Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean? Granted, that might have been lightning in a bottle. It might have been a flash in the pan. The football gods might have smiled upon the city of Philadelphia and, hey, whatever, a ring is a ring. And I will take that every day, all day, every day.
Waited a long time for that one.
But, I'm just looking for growth. I'm looking to establish, because reality, I don't know what kind of offense Nick Sirianni runs. Nobody does. Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of defense they're going to run or if the personnel we have fits it, but nobody does. Right. Is Jalen Hurts the guy? I'm hoping so. I'm optimistic that he is, but we don't really know. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different factors going into this season, and what you just want to see is positive football put out on the field.
Oh yeah, true that. That's an honest opinion right there. Sure. That's an honest opinion. Well, how would you evaluate Jalen's 4 games last year?
There's a lot of people that call him a running quarterback. There's a lot of people that say he only reads once and then takes off. There's a lot of people that question his arm strength. I get a lot of people that throw out the stats. Like, look at the stats. Look at his number. Look at his QBR. Look at his, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. To me, I'm all about the eyeball test. You can pro football focus me up and down the board. I give zero shits about any of that. Yes. What I'm concerned about is what my I've been around the block long enough where you can see what an NFL quarterback looks like. And I think a lot of Eagles fans can. I mean, they're by far the most educated and intelligent and have their pulse on the game fan base in the NFL. You can't convince me otherwise. So if you really take a look at Jalen Hurts, you were encouraged by what you saw in certain circumstances. Now, does that say he played flawless? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Did he sometimes only make one read and take off? Absolutely. Does he got to work on some things? Shit, he better.
Right.
Dude ain't Russell Wilson out there. Could he develop into that? Possibly. Mm-hmm. But there has to be a developmental period. You know what I mean? You can't take Jalen Hurts' 4 games last year and tell me that he is or isn't the guy. You can't convince me one way or the other. Right. It's about what they invested in him. It's about, I certainly believe he has the right mindset for this city. I think he's handled adversity early on, mm-hmm. and he's handled it well. And that's something that we can't necessarily say about our previous quarterback.
Right.
So I think he has the mentality for Philadelphia. He has the skill set to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. What he ultimately develops into is up to him and Sirianni, and let's see where it goes. I'm willing to give the kid the year to see that progression.
Heck yeah. Like we watch here in Alabama, we watch a lot of Jalen Hurts, man. And that guy's been resilient throughout his college career. Last year, like I said, everybody give him a little bad rap, but he did not have a preseason. He didn't have no OTA. You know what I'm saying? He's behind Carson Wentz, and you know how they are with the second stream getting reps in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? And then he came in cold, and he lit it up for at least 2 games for sure. That Saints game was awesome against the #1 defense, and then Arizona was definitely another good game he played. We should have won.
And didn't it seem like the team overall had a different vibe when he was in?
Oh yeah.
They just had a different kind of juice, and that's something that I noticed. I do these YouTube videos, I do these Instagram videos, and like right off the bat last year, I didn't like the vibe. I said it on camera. I don't like the vibe of all this. I don't like what I'm saying. I don't like the body language. I don't like what they're saying in press conferences. I don't like Howie Roseman arguing with Zach Ertz in the hallway. I don't like Jason Peters asking for more money to switch positions.
Right.
I don't like Doug snipping at the media in week 2. I just didn't like the vibe. And then all of a sudden you get Jalen Hurts in there and like, listen, man, Jason Kelsey said it best. Hungry dogs run faster. Well, those dogs got fat.
Yeah.
Those dogs got full, they got lazy, and they got kind of complacent. And here you have Devontae, Dallas, Miles. Hopefully something can be made of Jalen Reagor. Hurts. I mean, you got a lot of young bucks on this offense, like really wanting to put in work. There was just video of Jalen Hurts deadlifting 600, something ridiculous, on Lane Johnston's Instagram page. Look.
Yeah.
So you see this bonding already.
I was saying, like, I haven't even seen so many videos of these guys being out there working so hard together, during the off season before the Eagles. I've been watching them for a while now, man. Jalen's out there putting in the work. Everybody seems to be putting in the work. They feel disrespected. The media's disrespecting them, and they're definitely ready to change everybody's views on the Eagles this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd you like the draft?
Mixed bag. I really like the movement in the first round. I thought they really couldn't have nailed the first round any better than they did, because not only did they get their guy right away, but in essence they set themselves up with 3 first-round picks, assuming Carson Wentz stays healthy, and assuming that he plays 75% of snaps, so on and so forth. We all know the stipulations. Everybody called it a second-round pick that could become a first. I don't see how this isn't a conditional first-round pick. I'll call it a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So by kind of shitting the bed in the last game of the season, you were able to go from 9 to 6.
Yeah.
And then with a first-round pick, slide back, you acquired a first-round pick from the Dolphins and go to what, from like 6 to 12 or 6 to 13. And then bounce to the Dallas Cowboys, give it a third-round pick, which you had multiple of anyway.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you still got a top 10 pick. And when you take a look at it, Miami ain't going to be shit next year. So you could have a top 10 pick next year. Let's say the Eagles, you can't go 500 anymore, but let's say for argument's sake, they're a game under 500. You know what I mean? You could have a pick in the teens, and then you could have a pick in the 20s. I think the Colts are going to be good, so pick in the 20s.
Yeah.
So imagine what that would do in this draft right now. Mm-hmm. That would mean you would have a top 10 pick. Pick a player in any top 10, plus Devontae Smith. So let's say you walk away with Smith and Parsons, and then pick your favorite offensive lineman in the 20s. That's the kind of package that you're looking at next year to surround Jalen Hurts if he's the guy. And if he's not the guy, you got 3 first-round picks to play with.
Right, true that.
Yeah.
We all hoping he is the guy, though. We hoping he is the guy. We need some stability.
Dude, imagine if he is. Like we all want to, not we all, but a lot of people just want to kind of poo-poo it off and assume that he isn't the guy. Let's assume that he is. All of a sudden, you're looking at these first-round picks going, holy shit, like you can really like boost this friend. We could get back on track after that miserable season last year and maybe catch lightning in a bottle again.
Yeah.
Maybe do it again, and then you have everybody on the cheap. Listen, they did the right thing. They were in salary cap hell. They ate it. I mean, that's how you get out of salary cap hell. They didn't push too much down the way. They pushed a couple contracts down the way, but they ate a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have young talent on the rookie contracts. You're going to have salary cap space. You're going to have all this young talent. You're going to get some better. I mean, this is how it's done, dude. This is how you build a championship team.
Six, man.
Yeah, this is how you build a championship team. I'm sorry. But listen, it's all dependent on if they get it right. They got to get it right. And Howie, they got to get it right. Second round pick, if he's the second coming of Jason Kelce, that's perfectly fine with me. I do cringe a little bit that he's injury prone. I like the defensive end, and the rest of it. Hey, listen, they've hit on later round picks. They've gotten value out of there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I think this we're gonna get a good sense of how good our rookies are and our rookies from last year. I think last year they weren't really developed right under that coaching staff. No one really had a fair shot at anything. Corners getting left on the island. Our defense was stagnant. Our offense was stagnant. Carson was playing like crap. It's like this is going to be their year of redemption. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to see Smith, Rager, Fulgham. Hopefully he's doing some good things this year. Quez Watkins been out there working, busting his tail, looking good. So I'm thinking our offense, we got those running backs, Miles Sanders, Kerryon Johnson. Who else we got back there? Gainwell, the rookie Gainwell. I think that's a three-headed monster that looks like they can run all over the NFL this year with a healthy offensive line. So yeah, excited, man. I'm one of those hikes. Like I said, I think we're going 12-5. I've been saying that for a while now, and I'm sticking to it. 12-5. Everybody thinks I'm ridiculous, but I just think, the whole effect of not knowing what Nick is going to do or not knowing what JG is going to do, that's going to take a lot of teams off guard, and we can sneak out a lot of wins there. I think all the games, whether win or lose, should be competitive this year, unlike last year.
I just look forward to, being in the stands once again and just not having any expectations. Like, I kind of miss that. I after we won the Super Bowl, we got fed, this is the new norm. This is, we were talking repeat. We didn't know how to act after a Super Bowl. What the hell are we now? It was our first Super Bowl. We don't know how to act. So we're all the expectation. I miss the days when it was like rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. Let's see what we got. Mm-hmm. And that is a great mindset to go into a season because you're not setting yourself up for disappointment. If anything, you're setting yourself up to be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
All right. What are you thinking about that CB2 spot?
I have no idea what they're gonna do there. I don't even think CB2's on the roster right now.
They get somebody.
I think they're gonna have to. Howie's going to have his ear. That's what GMs do. They have their ear to the ground. They're looking to make trades. We still got a trade piece in Zach Ertz. We can still trade picks. We can still, a lot can happen in training camps. Guys are going to get cut that maybe for salary cap reasons or somebody rookie outperforms them and they become expendable. So there's still a lot. Now, granted, you're not going to get, Richard Sherman in his prime or Darrelle Revis in his prime or some game-breaking high-end. No, that shit's passed. That was free agents.
What about Howard? Howard in Miami, baby. Send that first-round pick right back to him and get him. Yeah? When the last time you seen a CB get 10 interceptions in a season, man? That's some good stuff.
Yeah, listen. There's a lot of options with those first-round picks, and hey, that could come into play. Mm-hmm. That could come into play.
What about you think we should get rid of Barnett or Ertz?
Barnett with the fifth-year option. He's got to prove it. I'm honestly surprised that Zach Ertz is still on the team. I feel like there's some bad blood there, and I don't know how that's going to translate into the season. I'm a big Dallas Goedert guy. I believe in him. Mm-hmm. I think they're holding on to Ertz simply because they couldn't get the value that they thought they could for him. No. And they might not still get the value that they think they can get for him. But waiting doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Waiting never hurts. So,
Well, he ain't gonna be cool with being second team. You know what I'm saying?
at the end of the day, I think he's a team guy. He's an Eagles legend. I don't have one bad word to say about him. He's left it all on the field. He's great in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish it was, his departure eventually will probably, I wish it was under better conditions.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Eagles will do what's right for them at the end of the day.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Join us, like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed before, we got a question for you. They said, what game you going to be at this year?
Well, with Philly Sports Trips, I'm going to be hosting the season opener tailgate down in Atlanta. So nice. I'm going to be DJing that. So I'm excited to get down there. The last time we were in Atlanta, although it was the Nelson Aguilar lost it in the lights, Julio Jones takes it to the house game. It's a wonderful city with wonderful people. And a pretty big Eagles presence down there. There's a lot of Eagles fans down there, so I'm looking forward to that. Then, of course, I'll be at all the home games. And New York Giants, I think I'm on vacation at the Jets. Otherwise, I would go to that one. Vegas. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of them. There's going to – listen, man, after sitting my ass home all of 2020 – you know what I mean? I can't wait to get back out there, back in the stands, back in the parking lots, and just enjoying Eagles game day again. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to it so much. 2020 sucks so bad. Ugh, that was terrible.
You go to a lot of away games too all the time? Did you go down to Cali? Any of those games they had a couple years back?
I was at the Carson Wentz Rams game when he busted up his knee. That was a great time. West Coast fans, Cali fans are some of my favorite people, man, because they're just ravenous for their Eagles. You know what I mean? Because they don't get to see it. I kind of take it for granted being so close and being the season ticket holder. I'm like, yeah, Sundays, I'm at the game. This is what we do. But they don't get to see it often. So when they do get to see it, man, they're not even at a 10. They're at a 20.
Yeah, that's how I was, man. Every time they came to Cali, anytime I can get to one, whenever they were in San Diego, when they were in Oakland, when they were in San Francisco, I was there, baby. I was there, like, let's go. We don't get these maybe once a year.
When I was out there in Cali, man, and Carson, they clinched up the division, but Carson Wentz went down. Like, Eagles fans, like, who was it? Somebody ran it into the end zone. I think it was Brandon Graham. And, like, the place is going nuts. And me, my typical cynical Eagles fan self was just sitting there, like, hanging a puss. Like, yeah, they won the division, but fucking Carson got hurt. You know what I mean? But they were going nuts, man. So it was a nice little uplift,
Yeah, I remember that game. I got to sit right behind that Oakland game when Nick Foles threw those 7 touchdowns, I was actually right there, like 5 rows back, with all the Eagles fans, and that was great. I felt like I was at a home game, man. Yeah. And that was the only game that I got that close with all the fans, and it was awesome, man. I can't wait to go to one in Philly. That's still my dream. I want to move to Philly or at least somewhere nearby so I can go to all the home games one year. I'm talking to my girl about that now.
Good luck with that, man. You got to check with the boss. Don't worry. I got one too. I got to run everything by her too.
Heck yeah. Well, I know what everybody wants. Can you do that thing for us? Can you do one of your little skit things where the one you did with the division? You got to do it for me, man.
Oh man, that's tough to be put on the spot. That's tough to be put on the spot. Listen, I would just tell everyone to go to the Instagram page. I don't want to yell too loud.
Anything for it.
Listen, man. My wife is trying to put the kids to sleep, so if I start screaming in here, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. All right, I'm not trying to get my ass whooped on camera, bro.
Okay, you get a pass on that one, that's for sure, man. But it was awesome. So if you guys have not seen it, get over there and check it out. It's one of the most funniest things ever. It was awesome. How you think we're gonna do in the division this year? Are we gonna at least split everybody? You see any sweeps there?
I don't see any sweeps, but what I do see is, like, I got asked this on another podcast, like rank the division leaders. And I was like, if I was putting money on it, if I was putting and take the hat off and the colors off and put money on it, I think New York's got the best balanced team, right? Balance wise. I'm not convinced Daniel Jones is the guy. You talk to most Giants fans, they're not convinced that Daniel Jones is the guy, right? So, but I do think they're going to be out for blood for us. Like we've had our fun dicking them around and screwing them out of the playoffs and out of their draft pick, and they just that could go one of two ways. We could either get our asses whooped, or we're just so in their heads that what I mean they can't focus now on anything else. Dak Prescott coming back. First of all, let's take Dak out of the equation. Cowboys on paper early on always look like they have the best team in the division, if not the best team in the NFC. And then, November, December comes around, they completely shit the bed. What I mean? That's just, there's regular season or, first 3 quarters of the season Cowboys, and there's last quarter of the season Cowboys.
Right.
Now you put Dak in the mix. I don't know what happens. Does the team rally around Dak? I can see a scenario where they're like, do it for Dak. Do it for Dak. But I could also see a scenario, and Eagles fans will be familiar with this because talking about a quarterback coming off of injury, nobody knows that like Eagles fans. Sometimes that does shit to a guy's head.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does shit to a guy's head. So I don't know what the Cowboys are. And then Washington, listen, they got a great defensive line. I'm sick of hearing about the defensive line. We had to throw the game against them. You know what I mean? We had to throw the game against them in the last game of the season, and you cannot convince me. I am sorry, but you cannot convince me that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to win the division. There's just no way. There's just no way. So I can see a scenario where it's, if I was betting it, Giants, Dallas, Eagles, Washington. But I could also see a scenario where if everything kind of goes right and nobody has any film on this Eagles and Jalen Hurts is the guy, and Nick Sirianni can coach, and again, like we talked about in the open, I can see a scenario where the Eagles win a division. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be competitive top to bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only ones I see us sweeping is the Giants, though. I think we're gonna sweep those guys. Danny Dimes ain't shit. Like just ain't.
I don't think he's shit either. But
and then with the Cowgirls, Dak might not even be healthy for the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like we were saying, if he's not healthy in the beginning of the season, then how long is it gonna take him to knock off the rust? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't have too much faith, but I think Cowgirls and the no-namers, we might split those games. But for some reason, I have a feeling we're going to sweep the Giants.
It would be glorious if we did, because that would just, listen, division or no division, playoffs or no playoffs, winning record or no winning record. There would be very little that would bring me more joy and more glee than just shitting on Giants fans, again. You know what I mean? Like, we're screwing you and you can't even beat us. You can't even get your revenge. You suck. You suck. You suck.
That's what we want to do here. Third time's a charm, baby. 3 in a row. A sweep, stealing Devontae, and no playoffs, boy.
Yeah.
I like it.
We bent you over, screwed you twice, and then went in the fridge and ate your food.
Without paying rent, right?
Yeah, and kicked your dog on the way out,
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Any other teams in the NFL you think are going to be good this year? Are you overall? Do you watch the whole NFL? Do you like? Like other teams, but you don't keep up with other teams, or are you just mostly?
Yeah. I'm just overall, a huge football fan. I think if the Saints go Jameis, I think a second phase in his career, or second opportunity in his career, the Saints could make some noise. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that really wowed me with their off season. Not really. I think the Colts could be something. Listen, I think Carson, as much as like his exit pissed me off, and the fact that banner's still hanging outside of the link pisses me off.
I know. I like that. Why is it up?
Yeah, come on, dude. Just take it down. Just get rid of it. I think the Colts are going to be able to do some things because I think that's just the right quarterback-coach combination.
That's where I want to see Ertz go to, too. I think we should just let him go ahead and go play with Carson. Let him make it a reunion. and they can just do their thing over there. The coach
They
make
can, they can be all buddy. They can have their prayer circle, whatever they want. But listen, you got to make it worth our while. You got to
right.
make it worth our. You got to
Hey,
give
we
us a
can
little
get that
something.
cornerback, right?
What's that?
We were talking about. They were talking about that cornerback earlier in the offseason when we first started. What's that cornerback they have? Xavier Rhodes. Is that who it is on the coach? I
I
think
don't
that's
know, but hey, listen, I'll take a draft pick.
oh, or that.
Listen, give me a third or a fourth. He's all yours. All
Is
yours.
that what you think? Zach's worth a third.
I think if anybody offered a third, it would have been done already.
Yes,
I
for
think
sure.
people were offering a fifth, a sixth, and it's like, do I really want to do that? No. I'd
It's
rather
kind
hold
of
on to them.
disrespectful.
Yeah, you gotta think about what you're getting versus what you're giving up.
Mhm.
Make it worth my while. Make it worth my while.
Yeah, it's like disrespectful. You don't want to get pennies from, but like we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
the $8 million off the books would be great too.
Yeah, that'll come off the books regardless. That'll come off the books regardless. We're gonna be in good. We're gonna be in great cap shape. Like, listen, it's been a while since the Eagles have been able to be like big spenders or big players, and I mean big players in free agency.
Well, I
Next
just mean like,
next off season, you're gonna see this happen. You're gonna see it happen.
oh yeah, I'm a believer. I was just mean in terms of like if we wanted to do the trade for a Xavier Howard or maybe like a Stephen Gilmore from the Patriots, or even like I wouldn't even mind seeing Sherman for like a 1 year deal. With our defense, we're gonna be playing zone, so I think he'll play good to be able to mentor some of the younger guys.
Like I said, I don't think CB2's on this roster yet. Not yet.
Not yet,
It's getting. They're cutting it close.
right? We
They
got
better figure it out.
9 days left. How he's just chilling, keeping
Yeah.
everybody in suspense because he's gonna get somebody. I feel like he's gonna get somebody.
And listen, corner is one of those positions that like a defensive scheme is a defensive scheme is a defensive scheme. Like corner is corner is corner. The only time you really run into a problem acquiring a corner that just can't figure it out is the Namdi Asamoah syndrome, where you're asking a true man-to-man corner to play zone, or you're asking a zone corner to play man-to-man. Like that's when shit doesn't work out. But if you've got a guy and he's a zone corner and you run a zone scheme, I mean that's pretty. They're pros. You're not running some sort of exotic defense that nobody else has run before in the NFL. Like corner is one of those positions that it's like you can get a guy and plug him in
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's a scheme fit.
So what do you think about Zach though? Just let the rookie play this year. If
What's
that's the
that?
might as well just let the rookie play this year, right?
Listen, there's no expectations. Let's see what you got. See what you
See what
got
you
in some
got.
of these young guys. See what you
It's a
got.
prove it year for everybody.
It is a prove year because it's a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, we know Jason Kelsey starting at center. We know Lane Johnson's the right tackle. We know Fletcher Cox. We like when Nick Sirianni says compete, compete, compete. I take it with a grain of salt, but I do believe in that. I
Mm-hmm.
do believe. Like, listen, I don't get down with some of the cornball, rock paper scissors. Like, I'm going to play you in ping pong and talk trash, and that's going to be the equivalent to your competitiveness on the field. I don't necessarily buy into all of that, but what I do buy into is like this is a new head coach. This is a new head coaching staff. Like you got to prove it to whatever you did for Doug. Don't mean shit right now.
Nothing.
You know,
So what does that mean for you? What about JJ? Is he staying or going?
JJ.
I like hearing everybody's answer on this one. So I have a couple people say they think he's staying.
I mean, like you want to talk about exactly what we're talking about. Prove it. Like the fact that you're a second round pick don't fly anymore. The fact that Howie doesn't want to be wrong or Jeffrey doesn't want to be wrong, so they're going to keep him on the roster, doesn't mean shit anymore. You've got Greg Ward, you've got Quez, you've got Fulgham. You got a lot of guys there that can develop into something special. If he's not going to develop or get it right in training camp, he's gonzo.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought like he'd be new Mac Hollins, but worse than Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to make the team. Like how many receivers you think we're really going to keep? You already said
6, 5.
So Smith, Watkins, Rager, Fulgham, Ward, Hightower.
So you got Hightower on the team. I mean, you got a lot of receivers to sort through. A lot of receivers to sort through here.
What about N'Keal Harry? You want to trade for him?
What's that?
N'Keal Harry from the Patriots. They're saying
It all depends on this point. It all depends on this point. I mean, there's a great argument for just what do we got on the roster? What do we got? You know, so we'll see. We'll see.
now. I know you had to cut out, but give me your top 5 Eagles of all time.
Ooh, just my favorite Eagles, or just who I. My favorite growing up, I'm a 80s baby, but a 90s kid. So growing up, my name's Erock, and the only other Erock on the team was Erock Allen. So
Yes.
Erock Allen always, and for all the Eagles that I've met over the years, and I've met a ton of them, I've never had the opportunity to meet Erock Allen, and it's still to this day, it's like the great chase. I'm still trying to meet the guy and just shake his hand and say, "Man, you were my favorite player growing up." Then it's Dawkins. It's everybody's favorite. I mean, like that was my high school, college, post college. I mean, he was around for my 20s, so those are very like important years.
Yeah.
Favorite Eagle after that, Jason Kelsey.
Chelsea.
Just he's 6th round pick. I remember I was working for the team when he was in training camp, and he was just a little dude. He was just a little guy. I was like, who? I remember they pulled him aside. I forget what the hell they pulled him aside, but all of a sudden it was his coach, his agent. It was Andy. It was Howie. It was his agent, and they were all talking on the field afterwards. And I remember asking Dave, like, "What's that about?" And be like, "That Jason Kelsey guy, he's going to be something special." It's like, man, but he's so tiny. Look at him. He's a little guy. And but to go from that to working your ass off to being a Super Bowl center to the Super Bowl speech, I mean, that's just amazing. Let's see, that's 3. Who else? Who else? Trot. Always like Trot.
Trotter.
And I'll say Trey.
Trey Thomas?
Yeah, because he came and partied with us at a tailgate one time.
Nice.
And you never seen such a mountain of a man so drunk before in your life.
Oh.
He came. What year was that? 2018. 2018 home opener. 2019 home opener. He came and spent the whole tailgate with us.
Man.
And got shit housed. Oh, it was great. It was great. And you're
That's
like,
so awesome, man. How many Eagles you say you met? You think you met over in your time here?
oh my god.
Total. Like a lot of them, like 20, 30 of them.
I couldn't even recall. I've been very blessed and very fortunate enough to be around the team. I met Malcolm Jenkins. That was cool. I mean, I had lunch next to Vic at the NovaCare complex. I mean, there's just Fletcher Kai. My first draft assignment with the Eagles was to go up to Radio City Music Hall. Back when they had it at Radio City Music Hall, we were doing like a fan segment piece, and that was the one assignment. The second assignment was to grab, this is before Skype, this is before like we have these StreamYard platforms. This is before all of this. Mm-hmm. So my assignment was to grab the draft pick, talk to his agent, grab the draft pick, sit him down at my computer so they could do a Skype interview with PhiladelphiaEagles.com. Nice. So I got to meet Fletcher on draft night. I mean, I've been really kind of blessed to have a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of players, a lot of former players, a lot of awesome people.
You had to get some memorabilia, right?
Dude, I used to have a fan cave. They asked you a question, yes, and there's a video of it on YouTube. It's like, I don't know, 7 years old, and longer than that, 8, 9, 10 years old. But like, listen, man, when you got kids, like dad's space starts to shrink a little bit, starts to shrink a little bit. All that shit's in storage, bro. Oh, I'm moving right now. Like, this is the room I'm painting. This is our bedroom. I just painted it. But like, I'm moving all the stuff from the old house to the new house, and there's shit that I forgot I even had. Yes. I'm pulling out this. What's in this envelope? Oh, it's a photo of the field when the confetti's going off, signed by Jason Peters, Corey Clement, Brent Selleck,
what?
Jalen Mills. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I even had
the Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got signed game used. Dude, I've got at least 60 game issued or game worn jerseys. Yeah,
You got
yeah.
the good collection, man.
Game used cleats, game used pants, like I got so much shit, dude. It's all in storage.
That's awesome. You got it in cards? You collect any of those?
When I was a kid, I was big into collecting cards, and it wasn't so much Eagles. That's a funny story because I'm actually out of this whole move, like everything's accounted for. This is a funny story. Everything's accounted for. Like, oh, I forgot I had this. I need to make sure I got that jersey collection in bins. So, you know what I mean? Watertight. Okay, we're good there. When I was a teenager, big historian of the game. You know what I mean? Love the Hall of Fame. Love learning about the older players. So when I was a kid, I would mail the Hall of Fame players to the Hall of Fame. And what they do is they then forward that mail to the Hall of Fame players. And I would say, hey, my name's Erock. I'm just a big fan. Could you sign this index card and make it out to Erock? And then you never know what's going to end up in the mailbox. So I have an index card box full of Joe Montana, John Madden, um, Len Dawson, friggin' Chris Carter, like all these Hall of Famers who were nice enough to sign it and put it back and send it back. Man, I got a lot of. That's the one thing that I gotta find that. I gotta find that.
What about Randall Cunningham? That was my
Oh
favorite.
yeah, oh yeah,
You
yeah,
got,
yeah,
you
yeah,
got,
yeah.
you got, a lot, you got your Randall collection.
I have a Randall signed photo. I actually, because he's a pastor now in Las Vegas. He has his own
Mhm.
church in Las Vegas.
Oh,
So
nice.
he was at an autograph signing in Philly, and I actually asked him to marry my wife. Long story, but my wife and we've been together forever. We met when we were in fifth grade. We have two kids together.
Woo!
We never actually got married. We never
Congratulations.
actually like tied the knot. So I asked Randall, I'm like, yo, would you marry us? And he was like, a lot of people ask me that. You know, I always got to politely decline because in God's eyes, like you got to go to church lessons and you got to be a member of my church. And you know, I
Yeah.
respected that. But I asked Randall if he would marry us.
What about Reggie? You got any for no Reggie?
No, I was at, unfortunately, before I ever got a chance to meet him, he passed away. He passed away. That was unfortunate.
Great soul, man. McNabb? I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Met McNabb. There was I got a couple McNabb autographs. Back, man, I'm dating myself here.
Yes.
But back at Veterans Stadium, right now at the link, the players pull into the stadium behind a gate.
Uh-huh.
At the vet, there was a parking lot that was like a giant chain link fence, and then the players had to walk from the parking lot to the entrance of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that spot when I was a kid. So I used to just not tailgate. When my parents were tailgating, I used to go down to that spot and get autographs. And I got Donovan's autograph when he was a rookie. Now
Woo!
I know I'm dating myself here, but that's yeah,
Man.
man, you're bringing back some memories of some shit that
Yeah,
I
man.
didn't
That's
even
what
think
I
about.
try to bring the memories out. I try to
Yeah,
find out everything. You're giving everybody insight for those that we can't. I can't. I've only been in front of the stadium once. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, I
yeah.
didn't even go inside. It was it was in the off season. Like I said, I seen it one time. Man, you actually got a chance to meet all the players there, work for them. Be around.
That's why I started. Like I started in YouTube in 2007. Started on Twitter in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Started on Instagram. So and the whole point of my social media presence, my social media, the whole point of this
Mm-hmm.
is like I realize I have it good. I'm very fortunate and very blessed to be able to be at the games and having grown up tailgating and having grown up, at the stadium and having so many experiences. What I try to do with my channel is just bring everybody along for the ride. Because again, we're talking to the West Coast fans, the more traveled I get, the Atlanta fans, like there's such a passion for the Eagles coast to coast. And a lot of people wish they could be there. So I can't bring everybody with me, but what I can do is share what I'm seeing at the time and share my experiences and try to, just try to share it with everybody.
We got JC said, "What do you do right
What
now?
what
Like
do I do? What do I do now?
professionally?"
I keep that a secret.
Okay.
I keep that a secret. Yeah,
Okay.
there's weirdos on Twitter that'll look up your company and look up who you're working for. But let's just say I'm in sales. I'm in
So
sales.
do you do things with the team anymore?
Nah, I had a podcast with NBC Sports Philadelphia. That kind of came and went. Even the Eagles thing that kind of came and went because Chip Kelly came to the team and basically shut everything down.
What?
Oh, dude.
Y'all out too? It wasn't Deshaun, Shady,
Yeah.
Macker. He kicked
It
y'all
was
out.
Deshaun, it was Shady, and it was Erock. All out. They're all out.
Damn. Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna have
So
to go
so
get
when
Chip,
when
man.
when Chip came to the team, I was working for the team for like the last couple of years at Vandy. And when Chip came to the team, there was 3 television shows on 2 different networks. PhiladelphiaEagles.com coverage. I mean, you remember it. There was like Draft Live. It was a streaming show all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of content, and the Eagles did a real good job of trying to bring you in to what's going on and what's happening with the Philadelphia Eagles as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Chip came in and was so secretive about what he was doing. TV shows went away. The training camp live went away. You weren't allowed to film anything. That's when they started kicking media members off the field. Like, hey, you get to see the first 5 minutes of practice while they're stretching out their groins. When they actually get down to drills, you got to bounce.
Out.
And my producer's job, the guy who produced my show, his job then turned into going through all the film of practice and finding the most benign, nondescript, just throwaway clips that they could show on TV or give to NFL.com or so. You know what I mean? Just like the most generic bullshit. Because Chip was so paranoid about people finding out what's going on at the NovaCare complex that, like, yeah, everything that was the end of my tenure there.
Well, we see why, because after everybody figured him out, he's gone.
After everybody figured him out, he was like, "What?" You know what I mean? It took 2 seasons, and they're like, "We got
We
him.
got you now.
We got him."
So your number one all-time memory from those days, though, before Chip kicked you out, like what was your number one? Like if you could relive that day again, what was it working with the Eagles?
The draft stuff was always cool. Being at the NFL draft was always cool. I'll give you 2.
Okay.
So I'm at the NFL draft, and all these lights are going off, and there's such a big hustle bustle about the draft picks, and all the cameras are pointed in that direction. And in the second round, they have the older players announce the picks, right? They have like former players. Willie Brown, remember Willie Brown?
Yeah.
God rest his soul. He used to come in and say, "Hey, call your mother on Mother's Day." That was always his line, right? Because he always made the Raiders pick. And I'm looking around, and I look to my left, and I see that I think we were singing for the national anthem. I think they were playing the national anthem. And I look to my left, and there's this old timer standing there. I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere. Where is it? Where do I know this guy? And then I look down at his media credentials, and it was Jim Taylor. Jim Taylor's a Hall of Fame fullback. That's Vince Lombardi's fullback. And I'm just like, forget the draft picks.
Right.
Like, I don't even give a shit about the draft picks anymore. I'm looking, I'm like, God damn, that's Vince Lombardi's fullback. You know what I mean? So that was that. And then there was just one day. The weather was beautiful. It was December. It was one of those. The last couple of years of Andy wasn't good. It was one of those games where you look up to the upper level of the stadium and they're like, it's half empty, and you're like, God damn, how did we get like this? How did it come to this? But it was just a beautiful day, and I was watching the game on the field. I was on the field for the game, and it was beautiful weather, and it was just enjoyable.
Now that I think about it, that game I went to in New York was Andy's last game.
Was this Andy's last game?
It was in New York.
No. It was the game I'm talking about. It was against the Washington football, whatever the fuck they're gonna name themselves now.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the Washington? What do you think they should name themselves?
Where
do you think they're going with that?
Themselves the Pidskins.
I think they should just keep it Washington football team. I think that's like kind of a cool.
Yeah, like the Washington football team.
Well, it's like there's a lot of the soccer clubs, like the FC soccer club. You know what I mean? It has a very kind of almost, it's the Washington football team.
I didn't think there was a problem with the Redskins. Like I understand.
Listen, it's a different day and age. You got to change it. You got to
True,
change it.
true that.
It, you know what I mean? Like
I call them
how would
no namers, so I think they should be called the Washington no namers. That's just me as an Eagles fan. So
the Washington Clown Show is what it should be.
yes, Magic, no. Start
Yeah,
him the whole season. Start him the whole season. Well, thanks, man. I know we took you over what you said you wanted to get, but
you
hey,
got it.
I appreciate you being on the show. Subscribe if you haven't seen this guy. Subscribe to his YouTube. Tell everybody where they can subscribe to you at.
YouTube is the Mighty Erock. Instagram. So YouTube and Instagram are my two big ones. At the Mighty Erock, EROCK.
Mhm.
And then Twitter is Erock_Eagles.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Now, if you haven't subscribed to me, Birdgang Nation, go ahead and hit that link, baby. Hit that post notification bell. We're going to definitely be getting a lot of good content out there. Hey, once the season starts, I want to get another one on with you, buddy.
You got it, man.
And then, hey,
Absolutely.
next time we need your wife not to be around so we can get that the skit going, man. I definitely
Listen. I better turn the volume down on this thing before she hears you.
we gotta get that skit in, man. Gotta get that skit in.
I love it, buddy.
Well, fly Eagles, fly as
Bye,
always.
Eagles,
And
bye.
hey, till next time on Birdgang Nation Sports Talk. We love you and we out.